Hello everyone, welcome to IntelliKids. Today I have a very special guest to answer some of the very common questions that I get from you all the time about hiring a tutor, private tutor for your young children. For those who don't know, I started IntelliKids as a tutoring company 4 years ago in Houston, Texas, and I work with so many children in private sessions. I met so many amazing people throughout this journey, and one of them is Paola Pederzoli. Welcome, Paola. First of all, thank you so much for willing to do this question and answer session with me. I'm sure this is going to clear a lot of questions in other parents' mind about idea behind hiring a professional for your young child. Paola, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course, Aishan. It's a pleasure for me to share my experience with IntelliKids with other parents. I am a finance professor, I am Italian, but most important of all, I am a mother of a crazy 6-year-old boy.
Well, I think first of all, Luca is the sweetest boy. He's nowhere close to be crazy.
And as you know, we moved to Houston from Europe around 2 years ago when we met.
I'm glad we met.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Paola, what made you to look for a tutoring service for your 4-year-old son?
So, you know, Aishan, we just moved to Houston from Europe and I felt a bit lost. First of all, I needed help to learn the US schooling system, which is different from Europe. And then I also needed help to learn the academic level of my son compared to his peers here.
Yeah.
Because I needed to choose the primary school and I needed to do immediately. And I wanted to make an informed decision, so I wanted to choose the best school that suits Luca.
And you hired me, lucky me. Can you
Lucky
briefly,
me.
Oh, thank you. Can you briefly share with me your experiences with IntelliKids?
Well, during our tutoring journey, I realized that Aishan is very competent, but not only, her skills are very broad.
When we moved to Houston, Luca was a little bit behind in reading and writing, and Aishan helped him to catch up in that.
It's so hard to remember that. It's like, yes, he was behind, but now he is so advanced.
Yes.
He's doing very well at school, and he's a naturally curious and interested child.
So then when he needed math exercises, she engaged him in math games.
And now we are coping with a little bit of a toddler hunger crisis, and Aishan is doing a nice work path on emotions.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so glad to be a part of Luca's learning path. I always see myself as a conductor when it comes to educating young children. Children and their needs or interests are different tones or instruments in an orchestra. And a teacher needs to help them to coordinate all those different melodies until they discover their own true interests. Paola, how does having a tutor that works with your son in specific topics helps you as a parent?
So Aishan, you know, you are truly caring and you are a very good listener and you really adapt your lectures to the current needs.
You have a special gift to understand people very well.
You can engage Luca in activities and works according to his personality in a way that I cannot do it.
Well, of course, it's your job, but she's very good at it. You have to admit it.
Well, it doesn't hurt to hear this, that I'm so good at my job.
So I have a lot of experience with babysitters, but I can say that the level of professionalism and competence is uncomparable, is totally different. The babysitter cannot be a tutor.
Thank you, it makes my day to hear that. Well, I do feel connected with young children and I love being around them. Paola, I have been working with Luca for 2 years now. What are just some other benefits that you are seeing that comes out of this work?
So the way I see it, tutoring is an educational help. With Aishan, I always have someone to talk to, someone competent and someone with experience that knows Luca and me very well.
The tutor gives a perspective, an outside opinion from
A professional with experience, but with the inside of someone that followed us for a long time.
She helps us in our educational path.
Well, from all this conversation so far, it's clear that I work with Luca for so long now. And even though his interests or needs are changing, Luca still works with me. A lot of time I become a part of the family that I work with, and I think that's the most rewarding part of my business. How do you feel about that?
So the way I grew up, tutoring was totally different. So the parents would hire a tutor for a short amount of time and for a very specific problem.
That's true.
But after meeting Aishan, I changed my mind about tutoring.
So with Aishan, I have a constant support. So I know that whatever is going to be the next problem, but also like the next choice, she is already here, she already knows us and she can help us.
And of course, the other benefit is that with constant support, you prevent problems.
That's true. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you about the financial aspect of this work. Well, a lot of people think that is an unnecessary expense, and obviously you don't. However, can you share your opinion about this with me?
Well, I'm a professor, so clearly I'm not a millionaire. I think it's a matter of choice. I prefer spending money in education, and because I think it gives a higher quality of life, more structured time and less stress.
Okay, here is my last question. Do you have an aha moment that you were shocked or surprised and it changed your philosophy towards the early childhood education working with me?
You know, I always tried to make my son happy and to try to change his mood when he was sad.
But I actually recently learned with Aishan that it's okay to feel sad or angry or frustrated sometimes. Recognition is the first step towards building a coping mechanism towards feelings, and these coping mechanisms then are totally personal. So recognizing the feelings is very healthy. So you can be sad, you can be angry, that's totally okay.
Absolutely. And like you said, recognizing it, because every person has a different way of coping. And if the sooner we learn how to recognize our feelings throughout the symptoms that our body is giving out, the better we're going to deal with our emotions, which is amazing. I wish I had known that when I was little.
Yeah, me too.
Paula, this is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for answering all my questions with your honesty and transparency. I loved having you here in my channel at IntelliKids, and I'm sure a lot of parents are going to be inspired by you, and thank you for that.
Thank you, Aishan. I really hope that my experience can be of help of other parents, because I think it's not a shame to ask for help, and actually it's
not at all. Well, parents and educators, I really wanted to have this conversation with one of my clients, also a good friend by now, and I wanted to show you the insights of having a professional help with your child, that is working with your child in private. Thank you so much for watching us, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next Friday. Bye bye.